Alrighty, time for this week's video. We're doing it indoors. Once again, the weather in northern Alabama not as nice as I would hope. The last video I did was a weigh-in video in which I mentioned that I had actually put on some weight. And I also mentioned that I was okay with that. I was not necessarily happy about it. Excuse me. But that I was not beating myself up over it. I had made a decision to go off keto. I made a decision to eat more than I probably should have when I went off keto. And I was just owning the decision, but I wasn't engaging in negative self-talk about that. And the reason for that is words matter. Words matter a lot to you. I want you to think about that situation where I gained weight. And you might describe it three different ways. This week the scale went up, or possibly I got fatter, or worse yet, I'm fat. The three different ways to describe the situation. The first one keeps it within a specific time and space. It just says that in this particular weigh-in, the scale went up. It's not a overall indictment on my life. It doesn't mean I'm always going to be fat. It doesn't mean that I'm meant to be fat. It just acknowledges that this week the way it went up. It acknowledges a fact of life, but doesn't predict future outcome. And that's important. It doesn't keep me locked into that groove. And you might look at the second one, I got fatter, and think, well, it's kind of the same thing. But I put weight on. I didn't necessarily get fatter. If I hadn't mentioned to anybody that I had put the weight on, I don't think anybody would have noticed the difference. But when you use a term like fatter, it's reinforcing the concept of being fat in your mind. And there's a difference in how you view being overweight and how you view being fat. Overweight means you have more weight on your body than you desire, but it's not. There's no negative judgment involved in that. You just know that you would like to weigh less. You would like your Earth's gravity to be pulling down on you a little less than it is now. But when you use the term fatter, fat is a loaded term. Fat is a negative term. When you say that you are fat, you are instilling in yourself a negative mindset. And it's particularly bad when you view yourself just as fat, the last one. I'm fatter. I'm fat. Because when you view yourself as I'm fat, you're not qualifying it in time and space. And the reason why that's important is you're telling your mind it's an indelible quality about you. You're fat. There's just no way of changing that. That's just who you are. And that's not true. I've gone a long way towards proving that in the last year and a quarter, that you can change. I'm 48 and I've lost nearly 100 pounds. But when you view yourself as I'm fat, you're telling yourself that that's just how it is, that there's no changing it, and your body will respond accordingly. And let's look beyond that. Let's just sit there and say that you did something silly this week. You made an error, whatever it was. Maybe you were driving somewhere and you took a wrong turn, or you weren't paying attention because you got distracted and you went past your exit, or you went past where you were going. And there are a number of ways you can view that. Oh, that was a stupid mistake. Or, man, I'm always making stupid mistakes like that. Or, I'm stupid. Again, the first one is time and space. That was a stupid mistake. That particular event at that particular moment was stupid. It's not an indictment on you. It's not a reference to how you are or always will be. It was just, in that little moment of time, I did something that was stupid. I'm always making stupid mistakes like that. Well, now you're qualifying a time frame forever. always is forever. Always means I make mistakes like that in the past, and I'll continue to make mistakes like that. It's not necessarily a direct indictment of yourself, but it's a reminder to your mind that you'll continue to make mistakes like that, because that's just how you are. You just make bad choices in life. It's just how you are. And it's not true. Choices are choices. You get to make different choices every time you make a choice. And then the final one, I'm stupid, is an indictment on yourself. And it's an unfair indictment. Based on the concept of neuroplasticity, we know that your brain changes over time. We know that you can make differences in it. So you're not stuck the way that you are. You can change. But when you sit there and you say, I'm stupid, you're reinforcing to your mind that's just the nature of who you are, that it's not changeable. And if you don't think that the mind is a very powerful tool, capable of amazing things, I would encourage you to go online to Google and Google placebo knee surgery. If you Google placebo knee surgery, the first article that should come up should be from the New England Journal of Medicine. And if it's not, just scroll through to find it, but it should be the first one that comes up. In 2002, this article appeared in the New England Journal of Medicine. And what they'd done is these doctors weren't quite, and forgive me if I mispronounced the word, I'm not a medical student, but these doctors were doing arthroscopic surgery on people with knee injuries, and they weren't quite certain why it worked. So they decided to do a study, and they took 180 participants, and they divided these into two different kinds of arthroscopic surgery. I'm not going to try and say those names because I know I'll get those ones wrong. And then finally a placebo group. And in the placebo group, what they did is they put little cuts in the knees, but they didn't actually do anything other than make incisions to look like surgery occurred. And neither the patients nor the people taking care of the patients after the surgery knew which group you fell into. If you were in the two different types of arthroscopic surgery, or what they referred to as the sham surgery, because no actual surgery occurred. And the results were amazing. The results for the people who had the sham surgery, keeping in mind nothing was actually done to them except for making the incisions, no treatment whatsoever. In every other way, they were treated exactly as the same as the ones who actually gotten surgery. And in that group, the success rate for pain relief was exactly the same as the other two groups that had actually gotten surgery to correct the issue with their knee. That's amazing. By merely being told that they had gotten a surgery that should make their knee better, their knee got better. That's powerful. And if you go back and you look at what I was talking about earlier, if your mind is so powerful that it can tell you you're no longer feeling pain that you should be feeling because the knee injury is still there, nothing had changed with the knee, but your mind was able to override that and tell you you're pain-free. If your mind is that powerful, what do you think it's doing to you every time you sit and you say, I'm fat? You think maybe that your mind is setting up your body chemistry such that you're going to stay fat? You're told your mind doesn't care. Your mind isn't judgmental. It just accepts what you tell it. If it can do pain relief, it can set up the hormone systems in your body to keep you in a fat environment, in a status where you put on weight, don't take it off, or keep the weight that you want to get rid of but can't, because you're telling your mind that's how you are. So words matter. So as we're going through this week, keep that in mind, especially in the concept of keeping things in perspective to time and space. If you make a mistake, or you're not happy with your current weight or some aspect of your appearance, be unhappy with it in the here and now, but realize it's just the here and now, and then in the future you can change that. And you can change that by telling yourself, I can change that. I'm currently overweight, but I can go on a diet and fix that. I made a stupid mistake today, but I know how I made the mistake, and I can ensure I don't make that same mistake again. Words matter. Keep that in your thoughts throughout this week. And when you notice yourself engaging in negative self-talk, stop yourself. Don't get down on yourself. Just stop yourself and reword it in a way that's better. You know, man, I'm getting fat. Oh, that's not a good way to say that. You know what? I've temporarily put on a little bit of weight that I don't want. I'll just work a little harder to get rid of that weight. whatever the case may be. Just reword it in a positive fashion that lets you know that change can happen, especially you can make the change happen. With that, I'm going to go and wrap up this video for the week. If you have any comments, questions, suggestions, debates, disagreements, whatever, feelings on sham surgery, that was a bit of a debated topic about that study. Was it really ethical to give them sham surgery? Go ahead and leave a comment below. If you liked the video, I'd appreciate it if you gave me a like. If you want to be notified immediately every time I put a video up, go ahead and subscribe and click the notification bell. With that, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I hope you have a great week. I hope you're engaging in positive self-talk, keeping in mind that words matter. And I will see you in a week. Peace.